and welcome to The Tip here at AgendaTruth.com, where the truth is our only agenda. Boy, we've got some interesting news for you today. Has there been a lot going on or what? Well, let's get started. I think last week we were talking about history repeating, and I brought up the idea of a friend of mine that let me borrow a book one time called The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu. There was something interesting that was taught in that book that I'm going to talk about for a brief moment. It was such an interesting part in the book of the teachings of Sun Tzu that I actually remember it even to this day, even though I read the book over 10 years ago. Basically, something that Sun Tzu was teaching is that when you're the attacking army, if you're an army and you're going to attack someone, do not completely surround your enemy. Okay, so let's say that this is your enemy here, and they're attacking this way and like that. What you want to do is, if you're the attacking army, you don't want to surround them completely. What Sun Tzu teaches is surround your enemy at least 3/4. Okay, so attack your enemy this way, this way, this way, and this way, and this way. But always leave your enemy a way out, okay? The reason why Sun Tzu teaches this is because if your enemy knows that he can retreat, then that means that he will not fight as fiercely or as strong. He'll think in the back of his mind, hey, if the battle starts going in the wrong way, we can always get out. And that mentality will be there. What this does is, if you surround your enemy 3/4 of the way and leave them a way out, what this will do is it will allow you, it will cause this enemy not to fight so fiercely, so it's going to save some of your own forces. It'll save some of your own men's lives, okay? And in this type of scenario, more than likely, you're going to win the battle and save some of your own men's lives at the same time, all right? Keep that in mind. We'll come back to this here in just a few minutes. There's a lot of stuff going on right now over in the Middle East. Things are really heating up. We've seen the assassination or the death or murder, whatever you want to call it, of a U.S. ambassador to Libya, Mr. Christopher Stevens, or Stephen, maybe plural. One of the issues with this is there's a lot of things going on over there, and things are really heating up. We're seeing these mass protests, these mass riots, and everything going on. And they're claiming that these protests and riots are because of some video made by some guy in California. And have you seen this video? Have you seen it? Have you watched any part of it? Here, watch this quick clip of this video that everyone over in the Middle East is getting so fired up about.
To whom should I attribute him?
His name is Mohammed. And we could call him the Father Unknown.
I think you're right, my son.
Mohammed the bastard. Your lady summons you.
My lady? My lady? Oh, don't finish it! Oh. God. I'm watching you. Don't finish it. Gluttonous. I know you are gluttonous.
Okay, you bastard, the unknown father.
What did you say?
Okay, the unknown father.
Bilal, take me to my lady.
Well, yeah, right? That's what they're killing people over. That's what they're getting mad about. That's amazing. Well, listen, here's some news that you may not have seen yet. Recently, Amir Ali Hajzada. Let's see, Hajzada. Now, let's think about that name for a minute, okay? I'm probably going to brutalize a lot of these people's names throughout this entire script. Have you ever noticed that we Americans, we have a really hard time pronouncing the names of the people in the Middle East? I get a kick out of it. Every time I see a politician on Fox News or something talking about it, they always call it different stuff. I think George Bush called Al-Qaeda Al-Qaeda. I heard, what's his name, Newt Gingrich the other day. He called him Al-Qaeda. We hear President Obama, we say, Pakistan, he calls it Pakistan. I can't say it the way he says it. Why do we have all these weird names for all these people? I thought about opening up a Mexican restaurant in my hometown of Madisonville, Kentucky, and I thought about calling it Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda Mexican restaurant. What do you think? I think it'd go over really well. All right, well, anyway, This guy is a brigadier general who leads the Islamic Revolutionary Guard's Aerospace Division, and he has just recently stated that on Iran's Al-Alam television that when Iran believes that Israel is getting ready to attack their country, then Iran may in fact strike Israel preemptively. So if Iran gets the idea that Israel is actually going to attack them first, Iran's going to say, oh no you don't, boy, we're coming to get you, and they're going to attack Israel first. So then who's going to start the war? So last week during a news conference, Iran made claims that it has the capacity to defend itself from attack. It says Iran will not start any war. However, it could launch a preemptive attack if it had been sure that the enemies are putting the final touches to attack Iran. This is what the military commander said. Hazeda also said that any attack upon Iran by Israel will in no doubt be supported by the United States. For this reason, quote, for this reason, we shall enter a confrontation with both parties and will absolutely be at war with the American bases should a war arise or ensue. And then he said also, while briefly listing U.S. bases that are located in Bahrain, Qatar, and Afghanistan. Now, keep in mind, the Bahrain area hosts the U.S. Navy's 5th Fleet. He also said, we see the United States and the Zionist regime of Israel along with working together, or they're along with one another, and we can in no way suppose the Zionist regime would initiate a war against Iran without the U.S. support, Hazada said. And he also said, quote, there will be no neutral country in your community. To us, the bases are all added up to the United States soil. He also said that when war breaks out, then in fact those U.S. bases will indeed be attacked. Here's the interesting part. Hazada also said this war will probably degenerate into World War III. Wow, what did we just talk about in last week's episode about history repeating? That we're going to be heading into World War III, and now it's coming from a top commander in the Iranian army saying that this is going to degenerate into World War III. Wow, I think a prediction may be coming true. The Iranian commander to the Revolutionary Guard Corps, Major General Mohammed Ali Jafari. This is starting to sound like some characters from like a Disney movie, like Aladdin or something. Anyway, he claimed that a war in Iran will eventually happen. Press television reported, war will happen nonetheless. It just, however, is not clear where or when. Iran will obliterate the Zionist regime if the latter takes any action against Iran. Also, another Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps commander, Hossein Salami, how would you like to have that name? Everyone will come over to your house for lunch, right? He proclaimed that many officials have continuously warned that if Israel or the United States were to attack Iran, then Iran will close the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's Vice President, Mohammed Reza Rahimi, said in January that not a drop of oil will go through the Strait of Hormuz if Iran is attacked. Wow. So you know what that tells me? Gas prices right now are upwards in the $3.80 and $4 range, and guess what? Has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on in the Middle East yet. We're at $4 gallon gasoline. You know why? Because of the Federal Reserve's continuous printing of money. It's called inflation. Aren't you excited? So we haven't even seen what is going to happen to the gas prices when the war in the Middle East breaks out yet. But it's coming. So it's only going to get worse, people. This is where things get a little interesting, okay? Now I want you to pay attention to this part. For the first time, Iran's highest ranking military official has tied the reappearance of the last Islamic Messiah to the regime being prepared to visit a war centered on ideology. Keep in mind the ideology. Keep in mind what we talked about the Sun Tzu part. We're going to get back to that here in a minute. With getting the treasure of the holy defense, valiance, which means guardianship of the jurists and jihadists and martyrs, we are ready for a big war. Defense Minister Ahmed Vahidi, well, I'm going to hack these names up, aren't I? Ahmed Vahidi said, in accordance with Mashra News, which is run by the Revolutionary Guards, he quote, of course this confrontation has always been continued, but since we are in the era of the coming, means the end of days, the coming of the 12th Imam, the coming of the Mahdi, This war is a significant war. Shiites genuinely believe that great wars will occur in the end of time. And the Imam Mahdi, the Shiites' 12th Imam, will come to earth and kill all infidels, especially all Christians and Jews, and the entire world will be ruled by Sharia Muslim law. That just sounds fantastic, especially for all you Americans out there who want all this freedom. The Mahdi is to raise the flag of Islam all over the world. Now, this Mahdi guy, you got to know who he is. He's on Interpol's most wanted list for the Jewish Community Center bombing in Buenos Aires in 1994 that killed 85 and injured hundreds. Mahdi also played a substantial role in the 1996 Khobar Tower bombing in Saudi Arabia that killed 19 U.S. servicemen. Whew. At a service focused on remembrance of martyrs, Mahdi stated that, quote, the Islamic Republic will create a new environment on the entire world stage, and certainly victory awaits those that keep on the path of martyrs. We can defeat the enemy at its home, and our nation is ready for jihad. Martyrdom has taught us in order to avoid wrong paths and go back to the right path. Martyrdom may be the right path, it's the path to God. Mahdi is trying to exploit weakness of Iran's enemies by stating if they had any capability at all, chances are they would have taken action against Syria. With that understanding, Iran is a far more powerful and greater force than Syria. Then he said, and that he concluded that Iran could eliminate Israel. A report from the head of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's public relations leader, Ramazan Sharif, claims that Iran has military assets in a number of countries throughout the world. Iran has special Quds forces in Syria and Lebanon. Additionally, it is believed they have Quds forces stationed in South America, right underneath the south of our border here in the United States. Iran has recently placed many of their military assets, including terrorist assets, on high alert in preparation to attack Israel and the United States. It must certainly be noted these assets range from the Middle East to Africa to South America, and in addition, inside the United States. They've been infiltrating our country for many years, working with the drug cartels coming through the drug tunnels. In a report Thursday in the Washington Times, Kevin L. Perkins, Deputy Director of the FBI, told a hearing of the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee that the agency considered Iran's asset a serious threat. They're not taking this lightly. Quds forces, Hezbollah, and others have shown they both have the capability and the willingness to extend beyond the Middle East region of the world and likely here into the homeland itself. That's what he testified to. Now, Revolutionary Guard commanders have conceitedly claimed they have successfully recruited and trained assets in South America, as well as others from Europe, in an effort to avoid detection by intelligence agencies, and that their mission would be to target and attack America if the United States joined up militarily against Iran. So, just what exactly are we really dealing with? We have to take a short break. We'll be back in a minute after a word from one of our sponsors.
Imagine you had one little box, and in it was endless entertainment, like your favorite TV shows, or exactly the movie you're in the mood for, whatever that mood might be. And what if this same little box also put thousands of other choices at your fingertips, like music, news, even live sports, all on demand? This little box pours on the fun for the entire family, even the birds. Stop dreaming, start streaming. Get Roku. Tons of entertainment, one little box.
Hey, welcome back here to The Tip. We're just getting started here. We're talking about everything that's going on in the Middle East. I remember a period of time. I can remember back in 2004, I watched on the internet of the horrible beheading of American businessman Nicholas Berg. I have never been exactly the same since. I'm going to tell you that watching that video changed my life. It made me sick in my stomach. It made me angry. And it's not a video that I recommend you watch for the faint of heart. But I will tell you something. For the very first time watching that video, I was able to see who our enemy is really. who they really are, what they are truly, really made of. I can tell you that they will show you no mercy at all. I recall for me personally, it was also one of the very first times seeing the black flag of Islam. As I believe it had been the first time seeing this flag for a lot of other Americans as well. At the time though, I wasn't paying much attention to the flag. It was just, I thought it was just some propaganda that they had. You know, hanging on the wall behind a small number of evil murderous terrorists while they cut off Burke's head was this black banner with white writing in Arabic. I didn't know what it meant. Since watching the video of Burke's murder, I've noticed that same black flag with white writing in Arabic draped behind the speaker. You particularly see this flag when the message is originating from Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda or El-Qaeda or whatever we want to call them here in the United States, right? Interestingly, it is the same flag being flown over the U.S. Embassy in Tunisia and Libya, as well as other places. It really is fearlessly flapping in the wind, high and lifted up. Great call, President Obama, that whole Arab Spring thing. Yeah, real peaceful, right? Within the last few weeks, I've taken notice of the same black flag being waved with pleasure in the middle of protests and riots throughout the Middle East in places like Egypt, Libya, Sudan, Nigeria, Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Syria, Kuwait, Bahrain, Iran, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, Indonesia, India, Turkey, Jerusalem, Gaza, and in addition, Germany, Australia, and England. All over the world, Muslims of each and every race, tribe, Sunni and Shiite, and are standing behind the black banner with white writing in Arabic. Many journalists and mainstream media commentators simply make reference to the black flag as the flag of Al-Qaeda. But that is because they truly are ignorant and just do not take care to study and research its significance. We touched on a bit of this in another one of our earlier episodes about understanding the Muslim Caliphate and the return of the 12th Imam. You can go back at agentruth.com and you can watch that if you need to. Or you can see it from our YouTube channel as well. Or if you're watching on Roku, it's in there also. You can go back and watch that episode. You'll learn a lot. In accordance with Islamic history and tradition, in the period of and teachings of Muhammad, his forces carried a unique black banner with white writing in Arabic. It is called the Ar-Raya. I know I'm gonna have some Muslim person that's going to contact me and send me an email talking about how I've hacked up the names of all their stuff. They would carry this black flag with them into battle. Ever since the day of military victories underneath the command of Muhammad, the black flag has been a sign of Muslim unity toward an objective of expansion for the Islamic movement. It is used to rally the troops and remind them of the expansionist conquest of Muhammad, as well, and also to encourage the Islamic people to pursue exactly the same. A week or so ago, during the anti-American rioting, there have been numerous attempts to bring down the American flag and raise the black banner over the U.S. Embassy in Cairo. What does exactly this white writing in Arabic mean? Its English translation states, "There is not any God but God, and Muhammad is the messenger of God." This is actually the creed and is at the heart of Islamic theology. This specific phrase is called the Shahada. In the event that you or anyone else wanted to convert to Islam, then you would be required to recite this very phrase. Are you aware that anytime a child is born into a Muslim family, the very first thing that is whispered in the child's ear by their father is, "There is no God but God. Muhammad is the messenger of God"? You can find those in the mainstream media who have stated that the black flag solely belongs and represents radical terrorist groups, only further proves their complete lack of understanding. In fact, the very flag is representative of Hizb ut-Tahrir, which is a Muslim group with international influence whose stated goal is to reestablish the Muslim Caliphate. You must understand that the return of the Muslim Caliphate, which is a goal shared by many Muslim groups that are set on jihad, including but not limited to those of Al-Qaeda, is a vision that unites all of Islam, including the moderate Muslims, such as, for instance, Hizb ut-Tahrir. The Caliphate is really a goal of all Islamic Muslims. See, Shia and Sunni alike. It is a goal to unite the entire world right into a one world government under Islam, the Caliphate, which is led by a single person. And this person is called the Caliph or the Khalifa. To bring this to comparison, the Caliph is to the Nation of Islam what the Pope is to the Catholic Church. However, in addition, here's the key part, in addition, the Caliph leads all elements of the Islamic nation. He is the president and the general of the military of Islam as well. Then he brings the whole thing full circle by being the religious leader. The Caliph brings the military, the government, and the religious offices together under one person. Keep that in mind, ideology and theology. You will see the black flag on display at practically every single rally point put on by Hizb ut-Tahrir. With that being said, we have to take a quick short break. We'll be back in just a moment.
You have insurance for your most valuable things, but what about your most basic need, food? Economic turmoil and natural disasters can put your food supply at risk. Well, there's a smart, convenient solution, food insurance. Food insurance sells high-quality freeze-dried meals with a 25-year life. Compact, affordable, and delicious. And easy, just add water for a complete meal. Food insurance can help you cover your risk for 2 weeks or up to several months. So be prepared. Give yourself peace of mind. Order food insurance today.
Welcome back. Last but most certainly not least, there is yet another characteristic that must definitely be understood about the black flag besides its symbolism of the return of the Caliphate. In accordance with prophecies in Islam, it is believed that Muslim armies that carried the black flags is a powerful sign of the end of days, and that this is also an indication of the return or coming return of the Mahdi, or the 12th and last Imam. Muslim belief is that the 12th Imam will unite all of the Islamic world into a superstate, lead the Caliphate, and leads the Muslim people to kill all Christians and Jews, and leads Islam to victory over the entire world and all people and all religions. One version of the prophecy of black flags commands all Muslims to participate in this army. It says, "The black banners should come from the east, and their hearts will be as firm as iron. Whoever hears of these should join them and present allegiance, even though this means crawling across snow." Still, another version of the prophecy, as recorded by Tir Midhi. We're gonna have to, Michael. Hey Mike. Yeah. We're going to have to hire us someone from Arabic descent to come in and give me the proper pronunciations of these people's names and stuff, okay? We'll have to work on that. All right. Tir Midhi gets the armies marching from the east and placing their flags on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, because the seat of the coming unified Islamic superstate under the Mahdi, or the Caliph, he quotes, says, "Armies carrying black flags should come from Khurasan," which, by the way, Khurasan is located in Iran. It was part of Persia. No power can stop them, and they will finally reach Elia, which is the holy house in Jerusalem, where they will erect their flags. Scholars of Christianity have noticed the strikingly similarities between the biblical Antichrist setting himself as ruler in the Temple Mount and the goals and characteristics as described by the Islamic version of the Mahdi and his claimant to world leadership. So, it says, "So when you see standing in the holy place the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. Then let those who find themselves in Judea flee to the mountains." That's from the Bible, Matthew 24, chapter 24, verse 16. Also, "He'll oppose and will exalt himself over everything that is in God or is worshipped, in order that he sets himself up in God's temple." That's 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. For those Christians who have discernment in their hearts, it is comprehended that the Islamic movement for a caliphate, or the Mideast beast, is along the way. You can read Daniel chapter 2 and chapter 7, and also Revelation chapters 13 and chapter 17. However, keep this in your mind. Even if you are not a Christian, even if you are not Jewish, even if you are not Muslim, even if you have no religious faith in anything at all, it is plain as day that there surely is indeed an extremely very powerful movement occurring in the Middle East with those of Islamic faith, and they carry with them strong end of the world traits with them. For those of us who are believers, we realize this day is not a matter of if, but it is only a matter of when. We will all anxiously monitor what is transpiring before our eyes in the Middle East. I highly believe that it's time for Christians and non-believers as well, both to set themselves to preparation both within their hearts and within their minds for exactly what is coming. Because whether you like it or not, a hailstorm is coming and it's just over the horizon. Now, keep this in mind. We're going to go back over to this chart. Remember the teachings of Sun Tzu. Always leave your enemy a way out. Let me show you what Sun Tzu also teaches. Sun Tzu also teaches that if you are being attacked, if someone is attacking you, then place your army where it has no way out. Place your army to where it cannot surrender. Place your army where there is no retreat. So let's just pretend this is a mountain ridge here. This is mountain, okay? And there's no way you can climb it. Your back is against the wall. Sun Tzu says that when you are the army that is attacking, always leave your enemy a way out. But if you are the army that is being attacked, place your army to where there is no retreat. So let's say the enemy is coming in this way. Why does Sun Tzu teach this? Because when your army knows that there is absolutely no retreat, they know that it is fight or die, and they will fight with a fierceness like no other. There is no other option but to fight with all your heart and might. Sun Tzu teaches you do this because even though you may be surrounded with this extra fierceness and this extra emboldenment, you may overcome your enemy. But even if you do not overcome your enemy, with this extra fight and extra boldness, you will cause more damage to your enemy. Why do I bring this up? We're going to go over to this chalkboard now. Here's why. Because in the Middle East, what has happened, this is the Islamic people. Okay? And we'll just say this is the army of the armies of the United States, Israel, allies. We'll just call this the allies. Okay? Allies. What they have done is the allies are not surrounding the Middle East. They're leaving the Middle East several ways out. The allies have left them several ways out. But what the leaders of Iran and what the leaders of the religious leaders of the Muslim people in the Middle East are doing is they are pushing the agenda of the end of the world. They are pushing the ideology and theology of the return of the 12th Imam. And what they're doing is through religion, they are surrounding the people. They're saying, this is it. This is the return of the 12th Imam. This is the final and last battle. There is no battle after this one. There's no retreat. This is it. And so these people are getting a ferociousness, an emboldenment. They will fight and kill. There's no turning back from this point. This is the end of days. Why hold back? It's the final battle. There is no more. Our job is to kill the enemy at all costs. That is the problem with ideology and theology. It doesn't matter if you believe it. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. What matters is this is what these people believe. They don't care what you believe. They will take you and sit you down and show you no mercy, and they will cut off your head while you squeal like a pig and post it on the internet for the entire world to watch. There's no mercy. There's no caring. They don't care if you're Christian or Jewish or if you're a mother or a father or if you have children. You better prepare your mind and heart, because when they come to you, they are prepared. They are preparing. They know what they must do. Do you know what you have to do? That's the question. They are surrounding themselves. They are placing their army with their back against their wall. And they're making their final push. And that final push is going to have a rage and an emboldenment in their spirit that you have never seen before. They will show you no quarter. None. There is no mercy from them. There is no mercy from Islam for anyone who is not Muslim. There is one answer for you if you are not Muslim, and that is death. You better be prepared for that. You better wake up and see what is happening. When you watch your mainstream media news and you see all the people whose names that I have an extremely hard time pronouncing and they're jumping for joy, and you see that black flag waving, don't think it's just propaganda or a black flag. It has an extremely important significance. It is a sign of the Muslims' return of their 12th Imam in the end of days and joining that army. It is a sign of emboldenment of this is the last fight. Get ready, prepare yourself. We're about to go into the final war with the world to conquer it. That, my friends, is the truth without the spin. Take off the sugarcoating, throw out the political correctness. That, my friends, is what we are facing, and that is what we are faced with. My only goal and hope is that you are preparing the same. My goal is that we have a better world of peace down the road. But if we do not prepare for what is coming, we are going to be wiped out. We have got to get our hearts, minds, and souls prepared for this. You have to know who your enemy is. Sun Tzu teaches, know your enemy. Know your enemy. Good night, America. We'll see you next week.